If your landline rang right now, and no one should have that number, would you answer it? I did, and I'll never be the same again. I live with my parents in a small, quiet suburb, one of those towns where everyone still waves to each other, where the most exciting thing is a neighbor repainting their fence. We've had the same landline number since before I was born. No one uses it anymore except telemarketers, and my mom insists we keep it just in case. Last weekend, my parents left for a little getaway, a cabin in the woods, no cell service, just the two of them and the sound of trees. I waved goodbye from the porch, secretly excited to have the house to myself. Just me, some pizza, video games, and total peace. That peace lasted exactly 2 minutes. As their car pulled out of the driveway, the landline rang. I stared at it for a second. I thought it was kind of funny, almost timed, you know? I picked it up, expecting a robocall or a "Congratulations, you've won a cruise." But it was silence. Just long, crackling static. Then a voice, barely a whisper. "Don't let them leave." My stomach flipped. I didn't say anything. The call just ended. I laughed it off. Maybe it was a prank or some crossed wires. But that voice? Something about it felt wrong. Like it wasn't a recording. Like it was talking only to me. That night, I stayed up late playing games, trying to ignore the lingering unease. Around 12:30 a.m., the phone rang again. This time it was worse. I let it ring twice, debating if I should answer. Then I picked up. More static, but underneath it, I heard breathing, slow, shaky, wet. Then a voice, the same one.
"I see you."
I slammed the phone down. 10 seconds later, it rang again. I didn't answer, but the ringing wouldn't stop. It rang again and again, every few minutes, each time with that bone-dry mechanical sound. Finally, I unplugged it. The rest of the night was silent, mostly. By the second day, I couldn't shake it. I told myself I'd imagined it. Maybe it was a dream. But then, around 11 p.m., the streetlights outside started flickering. I looked out the window. A man was standing in the middle of the road, not moving, just watching. He was far enough away that I couldn't make out his face, but close enough that I knew he was facing me. Then the phone rang. It was still unplugged. I didn't move. I just stared at it as it rang 3 times. 4. 5. Finally, I grabbed it off the floor, heart pounding. I pressed the receiver to my ear. Then something else. Something guttural and inhuman, like a voice twisted through broken machinery.
"You're not alone."
I ripped the cord from the wall completely and threw the phone into the hallway. But it didn't matter. The ringing continued. It wasn't the phone anymore. It was coming from inside the walls. Then the banging started. First from the front door, then the back, then both at once. Bam, 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 heavy, angry, like someone trying to break through. I turned off every light in the house and crouched behind the couch, my body shaking. Something scraped across the windows. Then, tap, 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 like fingernails, long dragging fingernails. Then a voice, not from the phone, from right behind me.
"We're inside."
I turned around in pure terror, but no one was there. The banging came again, louder, shaking the house. I ran to the back door, tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Something was blocking it. I didn't want to know what. I ran upstairs, tried the windows, nailed shut, every exit gone. I hid in the bathroom behind the shower curtain like a scared child. Everything was silent now. silent for so long that I started to believe I imagined it all. Then, a whisper. Not through a wall, not from outside, but right next to my ear.
Found you.
I screamed and ran. I didn't even know where. Through the dark hallways, down the stairs, windows flashed with shadows passing by. I tried the front door, but something slammed it shut as I reached for the handle. I swear I felt fingers brush my neck. The whispers followed me, whispering names I didn't recognize, describing things they shouldn't know, things I never told anyone. I crawled into the cabinet beneath the stairs, holding my breath. I stayed there for hours. Every now and then, something would rattle the doorknob or drag claws across the wood. At one point, I heard a voice say my mother's name, then laugh. The rest of the night was a blur of muffled threats and scratching sounds, footsteps pacing just outside my hiding place, sometimes stopping for long stretches, like whatever it was listening.
I see you.
But I never opened the door. Not until the sun rose. The moment I saw light through the window, everything stopped. No more whispers, no more banging. I stepped out of the cabinet, legs shaking. The house was normal. No broken windows, no signs of anything, except the phone. It was still on the floor in the hallway. It was off the hook and covered in black fingerprints. When my parents came home later that morning, I broke down. I told them everything. They called the police. The officers searched the house, looked for prints, checked the lines. Nothing. No calls had been made. No evidence of forced entry. The phone, they said, must have short-circuited. Maybe I fell asleep watching scary movies. Stress, they said. Isolation can play tricks on the mind. But I know what I heard, and I know what I saw. Because last night, after they got home, after the cops left, I found something. A piece of paper slipped under my bedroom door. No handwriting, just typed words in bold, jagged letters. You answered. And now, every night since then, the phone rings once. Just once. Always at 12:01 a.m. And it doesn't matter if it's unplugged.